Hi everyone, thanks for staying tuned to Spill the Beans on CNN News 18. I'm Sakshi Singh Litoria. Present with me is Tanuj Virwani. You must have seen him in Inside Edge as Vayu. Right now you will be seeing him in Murshid alongside KK Menon on Z5. It's already out. If you're curious, you should watch that. But let's directly talk to the actor. Tanuj, thank you so much for speaking to us. How are you?
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure, Sakshi. Thank you so much for having me on, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Lovely. Chalo, pehle let's talk about Murshid because I'm very excited. You tell me, what kind of role are you doing? I can see you in the uniform and I can see you all tight and all, crisp with that look. Tell us more about it.
Honestly, I've worked with this director on another show before. It's called Kamatipura, and we had a wonderful experience. So when Shravan sir called me up and he's like, I'm writing this new show and I want to cast you as a police inspector. I'm like, okay, sounds interesting. Then I just casually asked him, I'm like, who else is on board? So he's like, हाँ Zakir sir है और साथ में KK Menon भी. I'm like, wait, what? KK Menon is on the show. So he's like, sir, वो title character play करने वाले. So I was like, wow, okay. So I'm like, Sakshi, there are very few actors with whom I really wanted to share screen space with, and KK Menon was right there at top of the list. So mentally, I decided then only that I want to do it. I had not even read the script or anything, but then I'm like, sure, let's have a narration and so on and so forth. But that was my main go-to thing because look, I'm not a trained actor. For me, I feel the more you work with better technicians, better talent in front of the camera, behind the camera, overall, subconsciously you just imbibe a lot more and you become better as an actor. So for me, at this juncture of my career, it really does not matter, oh my God, how many scenes am I in, what's happening, because I know ki chalo kaam chalta rahega and all that. Certain projects you're needed in a supporting way, certain projects you have to carry.
The critics have everything good to say about your character. But if I could ask you the preparations because whenever you wear a uniform and you're representing a cop, it comes with a lot of responsibility in terms of the body language, in terms of the research, in terms of the kind of language.
Right.
What was the practice that you did? And when you wore that uniform, what was the instant feeling that you got?
So Murshid was actually the first project, like if I'm looking at a chronological way, not the, like I've had a couple of things that have come out before Murshid, but this was the first time I ever put myself on screen wearing the uniform. And it really empowers you when you're standing there, even in your vanity van, and you're looking into the mirror and you can see this police inspector looking back at you. I remember the first day I had the hat on, I had a dundee, I had a gun in my at the back, and I had of course the mustache which I grew for the show, and I'm like, wow, this is actually happening. So of course there is a certain responsibility that comes that you want to portray this character in the most authentic manner possible. Having said that, I don't feel that any professional line of work should automatically act as a precursor that, okay, if he is a politician, he will be corrupt, or if he is a lawyer, he will be shrewd, or if he is a police inspector, he has to be honest. You have to stay honest to whatever the writer and the director is hopefully wishing to say on screen. And even with this character of Kumar Pratap, he's very well in that gray space between good and bad. Neither is he squeaky clean white, neither is he black. And that's the way life is, right? I mean, like, there's certain choices and decisions we make which could be frowned upon by a few, but many people हमारी बातों से सहमत होंगे कि यार नहीं यार इसने सही किया. So I feel that was the emotional dichotomy of this character, na? Like he's stuck. He's the adopted son. The real son has been kidnapped, and they're threatening to kill him. And now his adopted his stepfather is coming to him and asking him for advice and seeking his help. But his stepfather is a gangster who's now in retirement and he's in the police force. And so just that push and pull emotionally is what really drew me to this character, and I had a blast. Doing this.
But what was the most challenging part, though? Because you've already mentioned that you have such an overwhelming cast ensemble alongside with you. Whenever you hear KK Menon's name, so immediately, and then Mr. Hussain is also there on board. तो सबसे चैलेंजिंग पार्ट इतने सीनियर एक्टर्स के साथ में प्रोजेक्ट ज्वाइन करने में या इनफैक्ट प्रैक्टिस में भी या सेट्स पे भी व्हाट वाज इट?
यार मेरे हिसाब से आप प्रैक्टिस जितना भी करोगे दैट्स गुड. यू मस्ट नो योर लाइंस, यू मस्ट नो योर को-एक्टर्स लाइंस, एंड बट प्रैक्टिस कैन ओनली टेक यू सो फार, बिकॉज़ जब आप ऑन सीन इन ऐसे दिग्गज कलाकारों के साथ स्क्रीन पर हो and everything's happening so fast, and as you know, screen like film sets can be pretty hectic, right? Because either we're gaining light or we're losing light or something's happening. So jaldi shoot karo sharo. So you really have to be prepped and stay in the moment. And I realized that the more I listened to what they're speaking and I organically reacted as opposed to acted, the better it worked. As they say, you start acting when you stop acting. It has to look effortless. Even though, of course, I am acting, but if you can see that, oh, he's acting, that means I'm not doing a good job.
In fact, everybody says that, you cannot teach acting to anybody. Having said that, since you have shared so much screen time with KK Menon, what kind of a relationship did you build with him over the shooting period, also off the camera?
You
If there
know,
is any instance.
see, the thing is, Sakshi, I actually had a very limited amount of time with him on set because sadly most of our character interactions were happening over phone cuts. So obviously when we're shooting phone cuts, it's like we shoot it at separate points in time.
Okay.
Maybe 4 to 5 scenes we were together. And I always got to meet him only in character. So by the time I never met KK sir, the human being. I always met Murshid Pathan, the character. Because he would always have to report to shoot before us because he had to get the long hair and the dadi and get into that. For me, it was relatively simpler. Yeah. वो मैं घर से बना के आता था and I would just get into outfit and I'd be on set. But having said that, of course, जब आप set पर रहते हो and like say for example we have finished taking the master shot, अब अभी हमें close up के लिए जाना हो तो पूरा setup change होता है. So he's one of those actors who doesn't like just sitting in the vanity van. वो set पर रहेंगे. He likes to stay in the moment. He likes to stay in the zone, and automatically थोड़ी बहुत बात होती थी. It was largely related to the scene and to what we were trying to convey on screen. But a thoroughly gratifying experience, I have to say, like seriously, because आपको पता है यार, अगर आप ऐसे एक्टर के साथ you don't bring your A plus, it doesn't matter इससे पहले आपने क्या किया. If you don't bring your A plus game, वो आपको खा जाएगा. And the last thing you want is that you're doing a show with KK Menon and he eats you up. You want to at least like tell your kids something that, dude, I did this show with KK Menon and I managed to hold my own. At least, yeah. I'm not saying मैंने उसको खा लिया, but at least I managed to hold my own. I don't want to like be like, yeah, steamrolled by a legend. Yeah.
That's really sweet. I hope KK sir would see this interview and he would
I
have
hope so. I hope so.
Acha, having said that, I have done a slight analysis of the kind of projects that you have worked on, and very
Okay.
latest I have to mention Splitsvilla also because
Sure.
आपने थोड़ा सा हमारा काम भी किया है. You were the host of the show.
जी.
So when that show came to you, what was the initial thoughts? Did anybody tell you that yeah, you're an actor, you should not be hosting a show and that to this kind of a show?
I'll break my answer into two parts. Firstly, what was my first reaction when it came to me? I thought, यार इनको गलतफहमी है. मेरे पास क्यों आ गए? I mean, like, why me? Because I don't have any history or any expertise, any background in hosting at all. Na school mein, na college mein, na intermediate level. But I've never hosted anything yet. So I was like, I'm an unlikely choice. But मैं curious भी था, and my mom's always told me, यार, take all the meetings. Never say no to a meeting. Listen to what the other person has to say. उसके बाद आप decide करो कि आपको इसका हिस्सा बनना है या नहीं बनना है. Like, don't phone me वाले हाँ नहीं, sorry, not interested. Don't do that. So literally out of courtesy, I took the meeting and out of curiosity also. पर जब हम बैठे थे साथ में and they had got like this previous kind of like idea of what they visualize the entire season to be, and then they told me that इस साल का इस season का USP होगा that they're going to get the X-rays, and then of course Sunny भी से जुड़ी थी. So a lot of things started working in my head that okay, I've done acting in web series, I've done acting in films. This could be something interesting. I mean, why not? I think being part of this industry is also a very perception-based game. अगर मैं सिर्फ ये कर रहा होता तो लोग बोलते कि यार इसको काम नहीं है इसलिए hosting में घुस गया. But because I knew that I was working on a bunch of projects and it was a matter of time before they start coming out, so I was like, okay, I always have that. That's my primary focus. Acting will always be my first love. Let's try something different. Let's try catering to a different audience. Splitsvilla, I feel I've been able to cater to a much younger audience. Much younger audience. है ना? Coming to the second part, काफी ऐसे लोग थे इंडस्ट्री के ही मेरे peers, मेरे associate, and I used to ask them कि यार, I don't know, I got this offer and I'm thinking यार कि मैं कर लूँ. 90% would be like, पागल है क्या भाई, why are you doing this? Hosting क्यों कर रहा है? अभी तो तेरी धर्मा की पिक्चर आ रही है, उसके बाद केके सर के साथ एक project है, then I have 4-5 whatever things are coming next. Like, you got so much interesting work coming out. Why would you want to do this? So I said, exactly, because I have these things coming out, so I know I have that safety net कि अगर ये नहीं चला तो वो है ही है.
Yeah.
But I feel that I will be able to leave a unique छाप of my own on this. So why not let it? एक सीजन में ट्राई करता ना, अगर नहीं चला तो नहीं चला, ठीक है.
And in fact, Sunny के साथ आपने पास्ट में काम भी किया हुआ है.
Exactly, exactly. So of course कि the fact कि Sunny इस शो से जुड़े थे and of course ये पिछले मेरे हिसाब से 9 साल से hosting करते आ रही है on Splitsvilla, that definitely was something that pulled me in the direction कि यार मुझे ये शो करना ही है, because जैसे कि आप जानते हो we had worked on a film back in 2016 called One Night Stand. तो मैं उन्हें पहले से जानता हूँ. Of course उन दिनों में I was in a very different phase of my career, वो different phase में थी, but it felt so nice. It felt like my career and my life has come a full circle कि इतने सालों बाद मुझे दोबारा उनके साथ ही काम करने का मौका मिला. Sunny also the reason why I feel कि लोग इतना कनेक्ट होते हैं उनके साथ इस शो पर, because she is damn real है. अगर उन्हें हंसी आ रही है तो हंसती है, गुस्सा आ रहा है ताड़ेगी, she will really shout at you, है ना, बैंड बजाएगी, you know. So she's very very honest and in tune with who she is. There's not an iota of acting when she's hosting, which I think is fantastic.
So who was your favorite contestant? I think I have a
You know, it's very difficult, Sakshi, honestly, for me to choose any one favorite contestant. मेरे हिसाब से अगर आप okay, of course हमें पता है कि who's won the show, of course Jashwant Akriti, so they would definitely be there. But strong contestants की बात अगर आप मुझसे पूछोगे तो definitely I think Harsh Rashali, I would say Arbaz, I would say Digvijay, Kashish, Shivit to some extent, yeah. So I feel these are some of the very strong ones, the well-rounded ones, you know.
Indeed. But now we all have a slight different kind of a perception about the reality shows. You know, the netizens and the regular audience, they would say that all of these reality shows have become extremely scripted. So I would like to hear it from the man himself who has hosted the show.
Okay. Yeah. Cross my heart, मुझे भी लगा था शो करने से पहले कि यार स्क्रिप्टेड होगा, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है, you know. I was under the misconception that all these shows are scripted and they're just called reality shows for the heck of it. But I have to say, and I'm really happy to report here, there's no fixing in this, there's no scripting in this. और वो कभी कभार मेरे लिए काफी nerve wracking हुआ करता था, because as an actor हमें स्क्रिप्ट दिया जाता है and then you have to learn the dialogues and then say it. So I'm used to that process of working. यहाँ पर whatever is happening, लोगों के reaction, जो कह रहे हैं, आप जो जवाब दे रहे हो, अगर फंबल भी हो, जो भी हो, everything's happening in freaking real time. You know, up until that very second where we announce the winner, यानी कि so literally 3 seconds before we announce the winner, we have our in here. तो producers ने हमसे कहा कि यार जशवंत आकृति जीते हैं 5 seconds या 6 seconds, something like that. Up until that point, we did not even know who had won the show.
Okay, so I think I'm going to put this separately out for all of those who have been saying that, you know, the reality shows in Indian entertainment has become extremely scripted. But Tanuj, my next question is going to be a little personal, but I was really curious about it since
Please.
Your mom has been extremely vocal about the kind of marriage she had, and you have been extremely vocal about you know, the kind of childhood that you have been in. What kind of learning, since you are going to become a parent very soon, did you learn from your parents' marriage?
Yeah, this is something that reached the pinnacle of like the bad stuff during maybe 2014, 2015. So it's been a good 8-9 years since all of that transpired. Up to sab saath mein rehte, everything is very very peaceful, touch wood. But being the only child, and क्योंकि मेरे कोई भाई बहन नहीं है, so I feel कि वो एक added pressure और responsibility कि यार, you know, you have to play the peacemaker between your mom and your dad, वो मेरे कंधों पे आ गई थी. So I feel I had to grow up almost overnight, because if I was not mature enough, then I would not be able to help them in any way. I had to stop viewing them from a judgmental point of view and start treating them as my friend. कि यार आपके दो दोस्तों के बीच में कुछ अनबन है या कुछ ठीक नहीं चल रहा है, and you are there to step in and play the peacemaker. So now, like say for example, me and my wife Tanya, we're going to be becoming parents very very soon. So I feel कि because of my life experiences, I will be better equipped to handle similar or whatever comes my way. Of course, you know, we will also make mistakes. हम दोनों के बीच में भी there might be differences at certain points in time. It's how you deal with it. I think that is the most important thing. And you know, so the conversation at home is always that if we are friends, like if me and my wife are best friends and we're able to speak to each other about anything and everything under the sun, no matter how bad or no matter how embarrassing it may be, then we are in the best position possible to make it work, both as a couple, as a pair, as a team. as well as be there for our children in the future.
Hmm. Beautiful.
Ji.
I think all's well if it ends well.
Exactly.
Apart from that, if I could ask you one advice that you got from your mother, since she was a so reputed actress, a
Ji.
very familiar and a famous face, one thing in your acting life that has really helped you, which came out of your mother.
Uh, I mean, my mom's given me a lot of advice, to be honest. I mean, but one thing that has always held me in good stead is that वो मुझसे हमेशा कहती है कि यार ये बहुत Friday to Friday based industry है. The way you are treated, the kind of offers you get, the way your career is going up, down, it's like snakes and ladders, literally. You have to just focus on putting in the work, focus on the process, not be result oriented. Because if you keep thinking about कि क्या होगा, क्या नहीं होगा, लोग कैसे respond करेंगे, then you are acting keeping only that in mind, and it's no longer organic. So that's one thing. And secondly, she's always told me that never ever take failure to your heart, but at the same time, don't let success go to your head because it's a very unforgiving place. बाहर से बहुत glitzy और glamorous लगता है, but actually खून और पसीना सब सब बहना पड़ता है. And only as a result of that do you eventually get success. I mean, I think I would be a good story and a good subject to see. Like because I started my career, started, next big thing. पिक्चर ही नहीं चले वो डब्बा खोल चलो पैकअप करो उसको भेजो इसका कुछ नहीं होगा then OTT then second innings now whatever I'm doing I'm trying to do so I feel like my failures actually taught me a lot more because when I mean see with all due respect I love the fact that I'm part of something awesome like an Inside Edge but I didn't learn much by the success of Inside Edge because I was gloating in the success I was enjoying the success wherever I went people were only saying nice things but when your shows are not working, your films are not working, or the offers dry up, that's when you really have to kind of, conduct a bit of a SWOT analysis, जैसे business में होता है ना, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and reconfigure everything. कि यार ये क्यों नहीं काम कर रहा है? Simple.
Definitely. Also, since we are touching upon this topic, and you also said that star kid wala thing, nepotism is a topic which has died down because now we have a lot of faces who have come outside of the entertainment industry, have absolutely no connections, and are successfully creating waves in the industry as well. But since your mom is so famous, at any point of given time throughout your career so far, were you pressurized, कि जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि डॉक्टर का बेटा डॉक्टर ही होता है तो एक्टर का बेटा एक्टर ही बनेगा इस तरीके का कुछ what do you think about it?
मेरे घर पे तो सब चौंक गए थे when I decided to become an actor. To be honest, they knew I wanted to do something in films, but it was always like, yeah, ये writer बनेगा, या director बनेगा, या DOP बनेगा, but something behind the camera. Because I was a very shy kid growing up. I was overweight, I had bad skin, I used to stammer and talk, I had confidence issues. So none of the attributes that you're actually looking for in an actor per se, है ना? But then when the acting bug hit me and I finally went and I told my parents and all, they were quite like, of course, they've always been very, very supportive, but they were quite taken aback that, oh, really? Like, you want to act? Like, you decided this? And I'm like, yeah. I think I sort of dodged the bullet when it comes to the whole nepotism debate because I feel Kangana made the term fashionable. Usse pehle we used to not like. Of course, we'd be like, okay, ठीक है, star kids have some privileges, but no one used to go nepotism. Now it's become more of a thing. So I dodged the bullet because I didn't get a traditional big filmy launch. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be like, okay, this kid's trying to do it on his own because, I started with very okay, average, mid-budget, like films and stuff and all that, and then I transitioned to the web series world and all that. And I'm really happy here because at least today I can proudly say that I can own my successes as well as my failures because wo mere hi hai. It does not depend whether, my mom's my mom or I was an outsider or anything. So I really lucked out over there.
And also now, Tanuj, this is coming in from a very personal space since I'm a working professional, plus I am a woman as well. Something very horrific happened in West Bengal very recently.
Yeah.
And you are a person who hold a lot of influence. And since you have so many fans, I would love to have a message for all of our viewers.
It boils down to one word, according to me, and that is upbringing. It's very easy to kind of just blame the perpetrators and the people, and of course they must be prosecuted, and there must be zero tolerance towards this sort of behavior. I mean, of course, what happened in Calcutta has really got a lot of traction and has really reached the mainstream media. And thank God for that. But I'm very, very sure that there are a lot of unreported cases which are happening on a daily basis all across India, which do not unfortunately get reported. I feel it's high time this stops, and the only way we can stop. See, India, if I'm not mistaken, is probably one of the, or probably the youngest country in the world, which means we have the maximum number of youngsters under the age of 25. Very vulnerable age, an age where they need to be shepherded, shielded, and shown the right path and right direction. As a boy child, if you're not taught certain values by your family and by your close people in your own home, that hey, listen, when you grow up tomorrow, you will be a young man. This is how you're supposed to treat girls and women. The same respect that you give to your sister and to your mother at home, that is the same way you need to treat people outside the home as well. And I feel till that does not happen, these things will probably only get worse. It's sad that I'm saying this. Of course, I don't want things to get worse, but I feel we need to not think of what is just going to happen in the next 1 or 2 years. We need to think of what's going to happen in the next 25 to 30 years. I truly believe that India is very much the future. I feel we have the potential and capability to rule the world and become a superpower in every way, shape, or form in the next 25 to 30 years. Having said that, we need to hold ourselves accountable. We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard, and that will only happen if we start investing in tomorrow's generation today. Very easy to criticize. ये गलत हो रहा है, वो गलत हो रहा है, but be the change you want to see. So we need to see a lot more of that.
Last but not the least, since you have already mentioned that you have a couple of projects in the pipeline, would love to have a little bit of scope about what exactly are you working on next?
So after Murshid, I've got a show coming out with Applause, the same guys who made Scam 1992. It's a show called DAU, Domestic Anti-Terrorism Unit. It's got Rahul Dev and myself. I'm playing an ACP. Very, very cool Mumbai-based gritty crime thriller. I've got a film coming out called Johnny Jumper, where I play the title character, who's a cable wala from Bhopal, but he's also an undercover operative for the local police over there. It co-stars Vijay Raj, Brijendra Kala, Zakir Hussain again, and Zarina Wahab and myself. So really excited about that. I recently finished shooting for the second season of Rana Naidu. Big fan of the first season. Also worked with Karan Anshuman, who's a showrunner on Inside Edge. He's a showrunner on this as well. So it was really nice to get the chance to work with him on that. And I've got this really cute little rom-com coming up with Trida Chaudhary from Ashram, Devya Agarwal and Nikki Tambuli. It's called Puppy Love Tentatively. So yeah, so got a bunch of different work.
Many projects to look forward to. All the very best.
Open intentions actually is always to kind of do different and meaningful work. Maybe something will, really resonate with you, something will resonate with someone else. But you want to keep mixing things up so you also don't feel like you're stagnating as a creative person. So that's what I try to do.
Indeed. Thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18. It was lovely chat. All the very best.
Thank you.
Of course, preparing yourself to embrace the parenthood and all the projects that we will be seeing you in.
Thank you, Zakir. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very, very much.